absolutely massive food bank demand in the swing states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, Michael Snyder reports. The economy is the number one political issue in America right now, and it is not because the economy is doing well. The long-term economic collapse that I've been writing about for years is playing out right now in front of our eyes, and it's going to have an enormous impact on the outcome of this election. But don't just take my word for it. Survey after survey has shown that U.S. voters are extremely concerned about the direction that the economy is heading. For example, the following comes from a Gallup survey that was released earlier this month. The economy ranks as the most important of 22 issues the U.S.'s registered voters are saying will influence their choice for president. It's the only issue on which a majority of voters, 52%, say the candidates' positions on it are extremely important influence on their vote. Another 38% of voters rate the economy as very important, which means the issue could be a significant factor to 9 in 10 voters. Voters view Donald Trump as better able than Kamala Harris to handle the economy, 54% versus 45%. Trump also has an edge on perceptions of his handling of immigration, plus 9 percentage points, and foreign affairs, plus 5 percentage points, while Harris is seen as better on climate change, plus 26%, abortion 16, and health care 10. The candidates are evenly matched on voters' impressions of who would do better to address gun policy. Countless other surveys have told us the same thing. The American people remember what life was like before the pandemic, and they desperately want to have that back. In particular, U.S. voters have become deeply frustrated with the cost of living. Is inflation stupid, wrote Bernard Yaros, U.S. lead economist at Oxford Economics, in an October 24 report, borrowed from political strategist James Carville's famous coinage, "Inflation is the foremost issue voters are concerned about, and how it's perceived will determine the election." The Biden administration is being blamed for this inflation crisis, and that's going to cost Kamala Harris millions upon millions of votes. At this moment, demand at food banks is off the charts in many of the key swing states that Harris desperately needs to win. In Pennsylvania, we're being told that demand is actually as high as it was at the peak of the pandemic. Joe Arthur, who runs the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, told NBC News the current problem is a hunger crisis. The need that we're seeing in our localities is actually as high as it was at the peak of the pandemic, yet there are less resources for those families today, he said. At one food bank in Michigan, demand is actually significantly higher than it was during the pandemic. One truck can carry enough food for up to 600 households, but some days even that is not enough to meet the demand, which has gone up by 18% over the last 12 months, said Ken Estel, president of Feeding America West Michigan. We have never seen this level of need in the 43 years we have been serving this community. It's significantly higher than during COVID and has pressed us beyond our capacity, said Estel. We've just seen this drumbeat increase every month of more people and more people. And at one food bank in Wisconsin, demand has more than doubled since 2022. In a relatively affluent Milwaukee suburb of Waukesha County, Wisconsin, Rochelle Gamoff said each week she's seeing new faces at her food pantry, Friends with Food, which she started during the pandemic. The organization has gone from giving out around 420,000 pounds of food in 2022 to over 1 million pounds in 2023. On a recent week in September, nearly 400 families came through the door, 48 of whom were coming for the first time, a 50% increase in new families compared to last year, she said. 50% increase in 1 year. This is the biggest reason why Donald Trump is leading in the polls in all 3 states. A lot of people that are going to these food banks actually have jobs, but they are not earning enough to keep up with the rapid rising cost of living. If you go to the grocery store and you completely fill up your cart with food, it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars. 25 years ago, I could fill up an entire grocery cart for less than $50. Inflation is a hidden tax on all of us, and it's suffocating millions upon millions of households all over the country. Of course, the Biden administration insists that everything is just fine. For months, the government has been releasing numbers that look great initially, but later they're revised dramatically lower. Let me give you an example. Last month, we were told that job openings were rising, but now we have learned that they are actually plunging. Last month, when Kamala Harris still had some chance of winning the election, we were not surprised to learn that according to the extremely political Bureau of Labor Statistics, in August, the number of job openings unexpectedly soared from an upward revised 7.7 million to 8.40 million, which was not only a 3 sigma beat to expectations, but was also above the highest Wall Street forecast. Fast forward to today, when Kamala's chance of winning are effectively zero, as even the suddenly apolitical Jeff Bezos now admits. And shockingly, moments ago, the BLS reported that in September, that's business labor statistics, they reported that in September, the number of job openings plunged from over 8 million to just 7.4 million, the lowest since early 2021. This kind of thing has been happening over and over again. The American people are sick and tired of being fed fake numbers when they can see the economic conditions are clearly deteriorating all around them. Our standard of living has been steadily declining for years, and most Americans are just barely scraping by at this point. I'm entirely convinced that most of the experts will be completely shocked by the outcome of this election, and our imploding economy will be the number one reason why so many unexpected voters come out of the woodwork. And this is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. About the author, Michael Snyder's new book, Why, is available on paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 8 other books available on Amazon, including Chaos, End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecy of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work that he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News, and he always freely, happily allows others to republish those articles on their own websites. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.